Hello, everyone. This is Asha Saxena, and I'm here with Seth Dobrin. Welcome, Seth. I'm super excited about discussing this book, especially with you, because you wrote the foreword. Before we get started, let's do a quick introduction. Again, this is Asha Saxena. I'm the founder, CEO of Women Leaders in Data and AI.
Yeah, and
Seth,
so
I'll pass it on to you.
yeah, so thanks, Asha. I appreciate being able to talk to you about the book. And I had the privilege to write the foreword, as you mentioned. So Seth Dobrin, I'm the former global chief AI officer at IBM, and I'm currently the president of the Responsible AI Institute, which is a community-focused, member-driven nonprofit that's really laser focused on helping organizations, know when they're building responsible AI or AI in a responsible and safe manner, and know what to do to fix it. And so that's what I'm focused on now.
Wonderful. And Seth, I was so excited to have you write the foreword because of your vast experience in AI and the world you live in. So just really quickly, I want to talk a little bit about how the book came into existence. During pandemic, I think it was such a great time to reflect on just our work, our professional life and personal life. And 30 years of my experience, and teaching at Columbia, just everything came together during that time. And my whole hope was that I could share the experiences with the world about what really AI is, and simplify AI and see how companies who've used AI or big data, I think the data is the essence of what artificial intelligence is sitting on. And that's really why the book was born. And what a great time for it to come together when everybody's talking about ChatGPT, they're talking about Google's jumping in, everybody's really jumping into the world of AI. What are your thoughts about what's happening today in the world of AI, or the popularity it's getting now, even though it's been around forever?
Yeah, I think the end of last year, beginning of this year, really started a new era of AI. And it's based on this whole concept of generative AI, or that which is built on foundation or transformer models, which is a really great way to look at how to extend learning from large amounts of data to small amounts of data. And I think if you look over the course of the last 15 years or so, when companies have been using AI, quote unquote using, there's been a limited number of companies that have really gotten significant value from AI. And I was fortunate to be involved in leading one of them, which was Monsanto, and then brought those experiences from Monsanto to IBM, where I helped some of the world's largest companies figure out how to implement AI and operationalize it in a way that's scalable and that people will trust. And I think which is one of the reasons why I enjoyed reading your book so much, because one of the main focuses of what I learned through my experience was really threefold. One is that it needs to have a human focus. So it needs to be focused on human outcomes and understand upfront who's going to be using it and who's going to be impacting it, which are often different people. The other piece that's important is the value. So how do you understand what the value of that AI is? So in dollars and cents, how's it going to impact the top or bottom line? How's it going to make someone's life better, cheaper, faster? And finally, the third one is it must be tied to a business strategy. So in order to do either of those first two, it's got to be tied to the overarching business strategy. And I think, the AI factor, and like I said, having the privilege to write the foreword and get to read it months ago, tackles all three of those in a very systematic way, which I really appreciated. And it uses examples of real world examples.
I love when you say, it brings value to the quality of human life. It could be healthcare or education or transportation. Really, the purpose of AI is to help human experiences and enhance those experiences. A lot of people are talking about the challenges of AI. And I talk in the book about you could be at any level in an organization. You could be either just trying to optimize, and I talk about the 4-quadrant. You try to optimize your organization, or you're trying to invest in R&D or launching new products or maximize your market share, or you want to change the world, like how or your business model, like how Airbnb and Uber did. They just, broke the business model. You could be at any stage of your journey. You could truly use AI to figure out where you want to go. But if you have clarity in understanding what your business goals are, it becomes easier to use technology to help you. There's a lot of good and bad people talk about. People have been asking me questions about, what's happening with AI. Is that good, or is it science for good or science for bad? And I always say it's how you use it and how you apply it. I love the possibility of artificial intelligence in healthcare. There are a lot of applications where when they talk to patients in rehab and motivate them to work out, so there are a lot of really good reasons of use cases where human quality of life can be impacted. I also talk about in the book about making it simple to use. It doesn't have to be complex, and said you've worked with large organizations. Large organizations have money, but a lot of times small and mid-sized businesses will say, oh, we don't have the money to start or jump into AI. And I think that's really critical to understand, that there are so many models which are available now that you can jump into. You don't have to build it your own. Start using what's available in the market. And I'm going to pause here. I want to get your feedback.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point, especially the last point, right? When you talk about, we always talk about big data, and I really don't like that term, but we talk about the need for a lot of data in order to build models. One of the advantages of the basis of ChatGPT, like I said, which are called foundation or transformer models, is that they are trained on large corpuses, large group, chunks of data. For better or worse, sometimes they're generated from the whole of the internet. Sometimes they're more curated. But by building those, you can extend those to specific domains. And so if you look at what ChatGPT is doing, it's built on something called GPT 3.5. Anyone can take those and they can build prompts. And so you saw people building prompts on top of those, which are really fine-tuning or not even fine-tuning, but creating tasks that work on the data and the model that's there. The other thing you can do is you could actually retrain those models for specific domains, and you can retrain it with the data or without the data. Now, there are some big challenges to that when we get into equity, and that's back to the OpenAI Nigerian $2 or less an hour. Google it if you haven't heard about it. But there's other ways to do that are more scalable and don't require that level of human touch. I think, which then gets back into the book, right? And I think starts looking at, people are doing with ChatGPT, companies are doing with ChatGPT with same thing companies were doing with data science and machine learning 5-10 years ago. They're just throwing it at stuff, no strategy. And so by using the frameworks you have laid out in the book, just like they work for AI, this is just AI. You can, it's a good way to identify your maturity, your readiness, and where you're going to get that value, where you're going to make a person's life better, cheaper, or faster.
Exactly. And, I love when you said that you can go out and use these models or create, addition on top of it to customize it for your use. I talk about the concept about AI flywheel. And the reason I talk about that is really understanding that it's really about the data. Have you found the right data? And can you really take the meaning out of that right data, augment it and apply it to your business and constantly improve it? Because in AI, it's all about accuracy. Can you create your model and make it accurate so that you can create the flywheel to go round faster and create more applications around it? It really starts from understanding what the problem you're solving, and do you have the right data? It has to, I like what you said. It's not just about big data, it's about lots of data, the variety, the quality of data. Do you have the diversity in the data to be able to create the value? And I think that's really the critical piece, which is important when you're building your AI models. And the book talks, as you said, about very different kinds of models. It gives you equations, it gives you just fundamental knowledge of how to apply and basic concept that you can get started. But I think it's the fear of AI, which I think paralyzes a lot of smaller and mid-sized organization. It's really now opening your mind to what's available in the market, because we didn't have that available in the market before,
Right.
as easily possible. And then the use of, if you don't have it in-house, go outside, get a consultant, get a resource, get a solution, or there are tons of SaaS models. So I want to ask you about that.
Yeah, I mean, so the promise of these models, so even before ChatGPT came out and kind of made it popular with the general public, these models have been around for a year or so, a couple of years at this point in various forms, but more mature, we'll just call it a year. There are companies that have arisen that have no skill in AI or limited skill in AI, probably not fair to say no, but limited skill. And software developers at Jasper, right, which is a writing app, SaaS product, they went all the way through to their Series B without having in-house AI expertise, like deep expertise. And so you can do that for your own company, right? You can, whether you're small business, medium business, large business, you can do the same type of things where your software developers can now take these and use them. Now, there are some risks that need to be controlled for. Most of these models were trained on the whole of the internet. The whole of the internet, as we all know, contains hate, contains misogyny, contains misinformation. And so you need to understand how you're going to control for those up front. So what are you going to do to make sure that AI is built responsibly? And that's what, we at the Responsible AI Institute can help you do. So there's my plug for my organization. And I think, it needs to be aligned to global standards, because you need to know if you're going to implement this properly, especially if it impacts a human's health, wealth, or livelihood, because there will be regulations down the road and you don't want to build technical debt in your AI. And I think, I would encourage companies to start in places where it doesn't directly impact human health, wealth, or livelihood. So you can get a sense of what are the risks, how are you going to manage them, how are you going to make sure it's aligned to your corporate policies, global standards, and global regulations, and how you can really just identify that catalog of use cases and then assess the risk and the value. And again, it's got to be tied to business strategy.
Exactly. And I think that's why the ethical AI is so critical. Responsible AI is so critical. If you are responsible and you're using AI for ethical purposes and you're building AI for good, and I think you would think that should be the natural way people would do business. But I think
no one wants to build AI for bad right now, except for a small number of bad actors, right?
Exactly. But I think just the whole unconscious biases and just being conscious about knowing that there are unconscious biases and are you doing the best practices in AI is important. As we come to a close, I want to ask you one question. You wrote the foreword for the AI Factor and you said yes immediately. So tell me why.
For a few reasons. One is, there's lots of books out there by people that look like me. There's not a lot of books out there by people who don't look like me. And I think, especially in this domain, and I think it's important that, someone who is from a business perspective can speak normal human language and not highly technical jargon, kind of explain to the world how organizations have gotten value for this and how you can replicate it. And so, that was really exciting to me to be able to participate in that. Plus, I know you, even before reading the book, I knew it was going to be good. And I'm on the board of WILDA, which you founded, and this book, is helping to support WILDA, which I think is fantastic. And so those are the main reasons.
Wonderful. Thank you. And I think it is an important topic, and it's important that the masses understand AI, in a simple human form. And I think that was the intent, is that it's not just the technical people who sit and control AI. It's the users who use AI is as equally engaged. The business
and the people that are impacted by it.
And the people that are impacted by it, exactly, can get engaged. So I think I enjoyed writing it because I knew it was for masses. It was for people who were in technology or in business or consumers. So hopefully people can get a hand on the book. It's available in Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Send me a quick note and tell me how you like the book. Thank you, Seth. Oh my God, yes, thank you. Thank you, Seth, for your contribution and your knowledge. And we continue this journey. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
And we can go in the breakout room.